There's a quiet thief that steals joy from so many people over 50. It's not something you see in the mirror, and it doesn't make the headlines like heart attacks or strokes, but it creeps into your mornings when you wake stiff, into your afternoons when every step feels heavier, and into your evenings when you sit down only to groan at the thought of standing again. That thief is inflammation in the joints, and while it may sound harmless, untreated it chips away at independence, mobility, and the freedom to live life fully. But what if the remedy wasn't only in a pill bottle? What if comfort, healing, and strength could be ladled into a bowl and sipped slowly, nourishing you from the inside out? I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Today, we'll explore three remarkable healing soups that just might change your story. I still remember one of my longtime patients, Margaret, who came to see me in her late 60s. She was a retired school teacher, bright-eyed, sharp as ever, but she walked with the heaviness of someone carrying years of stiffness in her knees. She told me, "Dr. Brian, I just want to be able to kneel in my garden again without feeling like I'm fighting a war inside my joints." That struck me deeply because joint pain doesn't just take away comfort, it takes away pieces of the life we love. When I recommended she try incorporating bone broth into her daily routine, she chuckled and said, "So you're telling me soup is your prescription?" And I smiled and replied, "Sometimes the simplest remedies are the ones our bodies recognize the most." Over the months that followed, Margaret found herself not only gardening again, but also dancing at her granddaughter's wedding. She always credited those daily mugs of broth, though I reminded her it was really her body's natural ability to heal, given the right building blocks. So why is bone broth so powerful for joint pain relief? Imagine your joints as hinges on a door. When you're young, those hinges are smooth, well-oiled, and the door swings open easily. But over time, the oil dries up, the metal wears down, and every movement starts to creak. Bone broth, in many ways, brings back that oil and repairs the hinge itself. When animal bones are simmered slowly in water with a splash of apple cider vinegar, they release their inner treasures: collagen, gelatin, amino acids, and minerals. Collagen is perhaps the most famous of these treasures. It's the scaffolding of your body, the glue that holds joints, tendons, and cartilage together. As we age, collagen production naturally declines, which is why joints feel stiffer and skin less supple. A study published in Current Medical Research and Opinion in 2006 showed that people with osteoarthritis who took collagen supplements reported significant improvements in joint pain compared to those who didn't. Think of collagen like fresh mortar in the cracks of a worn-down brick wall. It fills in the spaces and strengthens the structure. When you sip bone broth, you're replenishing the very material your joints need to rebuild and stay flexible. Then there's gelatin, which is essentially collagen transformed by heat. Gelatin helps cushion your joints, much like adding padding under a rug so that every step feels softer. People often notice that after a few weeks of bone broth, their joints don't grind as much and movements feel smoother. That's not magic. It's the effect of gelatin restoring lubrication to the cartilage. We also can't overlook the amino acids, tiny but mighty compounds like glycine, proline, and glutamine. These act as repair crews, patching up micro tears in cartilage and calming inflammation inside the joint lining. Glycine, for example, has anti-inflammatory effects that reduce the very chemical messengers responsible for swelling and pain. Proline helps rebuild connective tissue, while glutamine supports the immune system, which is often involved in the inflammation cycle of arthritis. Together, they orchestrate a quiet symphony of healing inside your body. And let's not forget minerals: calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. These are the bedrock of strong bones. Many of my patients over 50 worry about osteoporosis or bone thinning. Drinking bone broth is like delivering a care package of these essential minerals directly to the bones, reinforcing their strength so the joints they support can function more easily. But beyond the science, there's something deeply comforting about bone broth that science alone can't measure. Sitting with a steaming mug, inhaling the earthy aroma, feeling warmth spread through your body, it's a ritual of nourishment. It's not just about arthritis pain relief, it's about emotional relief too. The act of slowing down, savoring, and giving your body something gentle is healing in itself. You might be wondering, do I have to spend hours in the kitchen to get this benefit? The answer is no. While homemade bone broth, made from chicken, beef, or even fish bones, simmered with onion, garlic, carrots, and herbs, offers the freshest nutrients, many high-quality store-bought options now exist. If you choose ready-made, look for labels that say grass-fed, organic, or pasture-raised. This ensures the animals lived healthier lives and their bones carry richer nutrition. For those who want to try making it themselves, I recommend placing a pot of bones, water, a splash of apple cider vinegar, and vegetables on a slow simmer for at least 12 to 24 hours. Yes, it takes time, but the beauty is that the pot does all the work while you sleep or go about your day. What emerges is liquid gold, rich, flavorful, and healing. Over time, many patients report less stiffness in the morning, greater mobility, and an overall sense of comfort. It doesn't replace medical care when needed, but it becomes a steady companion, supporting the body's natural repair process. Margaret once told me, "It feels like my joints are wrapped in a warm blanket." And isn't that exactly what we all want? To feel supported, comfortable, and able to move freely again? Bone broth isn't just food. It's a reminder that healing can be both simple and profound, and that sometimes the path to joint pain relief is found in something as humble as a bowl of soup. I'll never forget Harold, a retired firefighter in his early 70s. He came to me with hands so swollen from arthritis that he joked he could no longer button his shirt without asking his wife for help. Harold wasn't one to complain. After all, he had fought fires, carried people to safety, faced danger head-on. But the thought of losing independence to stiff, aching joints frightened him more than running into a burning building ever did. He told me, "Dr. Brian, I don't want to be a burden. I just want to move without feeling like my body's fighting me." When we talked about natural anti-inflammatory foods, I mentioned turmeric and ginger. He laughed and said, "Spices? You mean the stuff in my kitchen could be stronger than the pills in my cabinet?" That moment of disbelief is common, but once he started sipping turmeric and ginger chicken soup regularly, something remarkable happened. Within weeks, Harold noticed his hands weren't as stiff in the mornings. He could button his shirt again. And one afternoon, his wife called me just to say thank you. She told me Harold was out in the garage tinkering with his old motorcycle, smiling like he used to. So why does this soup work so well? Let's break it down in a way you can picture. Imagine inflammation as a small fire burning inside your joints. It starts as a flicker, but spreads quietly, eating away at cartilage and leaving pain in its wake. Medications can act like a fire extinguisher, blasting the flames temporarily, but turmeric and ginger are more like a steady rain, gentle, consistent, and long-lasting, soaking into every corner and cooling the heat from within. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, the very pigment that gives it that vibrant golden color. Scientists have studied curcumin extensively, and one review published in the Journal of Medicinal Food in 2016 found that curcumin significantly reduced arthritis symptoms compared to placebo. Curcumin works by lowering the levels of inflammatory chemicals. Think of it like turning down the volume on a loudspeaker, blaring pain signals. With less noise from inflammation, the joints can finally rest and repair. But turmeric alone has a challenge. It isn't absorbed well by the body. That's why pairing it with black pepper or healthy fats, like the small amount of oil often used in soup, makes it much more effective. It's like unlocking the door so the healing compound can actually walk inside your system instead of staying stuck outside. Then there's ginger, another ancient healer. If turmeric is the gentle rain, ginger is the cool breeze that eases the smoke after the fire. Ginger contains gingerols, compounds with powerful anti-inflammatory and circulation-boosting properties. These help reduce swelling, ease stiffness, and improve blood flow to nourish the joints. I often tell my patients that ginger is like a natural massage for the inside of your body, loosening tension and bringing comfort where it's needed most. Now let's not forget the chicken in the soup. Protein might sound simple, but it's essential. Your joints rely on strong muscles and tendons to carry the weight of daily movement. Without adequate protein, those support structures weaken, leaving the joints more vulnerable. Chicken provides lean, easily digestible protein, along with amino acids like proline, glycine, and arginine, the very same building blocks that support cartilage and connective tissue repair. In other words, the chicken isn't just filling your stomach, it's helping to rebuild the framework that keeps your joints moving. And when you add vegetables like carrots, onions, and garlic, the healing power multiplies. Carrots bring antioxidants that fight oxidative stress, a process that accelerates inflammation and joint damage. Onions and garlic, both rich in sulfur compounds, further reduce inflammation and strengthen immunity. Every spoonful of this soup is like layering protection upon protection, giving your body not just relief, but resilience. But beyond the nutrients, there's also the emotional comfort. When Harold first tried the soup, he told me it reminded him of the meals his mother used to make when he was a boy recovering from colds. That sense of warmth, of being cared for, adds another dimension to healing. Food carries memories, and when those memories are tied to safety and love, your body responds with relaxation, which in itself lowers inflammation. The beauty of turmeric and ginger chicken soup is its flexibility. Some like it mild, others with a stronger kick of spice. Some add leafy greens like kale or spinach, boosting vitamin K for bone health. Others toss in a handful of parsley or cilantro for freshness. However you choose to make it, the foundation remains the same. A golden broth infused with the twin powers of turmeric and ginger, carrying protein and vegetables that soothe, strengthen, and restore. Harold once told me, "I didn't think soup could change my life, but now every bowl feels like I'm reclaiming a piece of myself." That's the truth of it. Healing doesn't always come in dramatic gestures. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the daily ritual of a warm, fragrant bowl of soup that works patiently with your body, day after day. Turmeric and ginger chicken soup isn't a miracle cure, but it is a companion, helping your body fight inflammation naturally, supporting mobility, and restoring dignity. For many people like Harold, it has meant the difference between enduring life and enjoying life. And to me, that's one of the most profound gifts food can give. Not every healing food needs to come from an animal source. Some of the most powerful remedies for aching joints are found in the humblest of plants. I think of Maria, a 65-year-old retired school teacher who came to me discouraged. She had been diagnosed with osteoarthritis in her knees, and though she loved teaching, standing all day had left her with years of wear and tear. After retirement, she dreamed of traveling with her grandchildren, but instead she found herself dreading the stairs at home. Pills upset her stomach, and she wanted something more natural. When I suggested trying a hearty sweet potato and lentil soup, she raised an eyebrow and said, "Doctor, you mean soup could take me farther than medicine?" A few months later, Maria returned, walking into my office with a lighter step. She told me she had been making a big pot of the soup every Sunday, freezing portions, and eating it several times a week. Her words still warm my heart. For the first time in years, I can kneel down and tie my grandbaby's shoes without wincing. That's the quiet victory we're after. Not erasing every ache, but restoring the simple joys that make life rich. Why does this plant-based soup work so beautifully? Sweet potatoes are the star ingredient, glowing with that deep orange color that signals their richness in beta-carotene. Inside the body, beta-carotene acts like a shield against oxidative stress, which is one of the hidden drivers of inflammation. Think of oxidative stress as rust forming on the hinges of a door. Over time, the door squeaks, sticks, and resists movement. Beta-carotene, along with other antioxidants, polishes those hinges, keeping the joints moving smoothly and reducing wear. Sweet potatoes are also high in vitamin C, which your body uses to make collagen, the scaffolding that holds joints together. Without enough collagen, the cartilage in joints becomes brittle and more prone to damage. By giving your body the raw material to build collagen, sweet potatoes help reinforce the strength of your knees, hips, and shoulders from the inside out. And then there's the fiber, often overlooked but critically important. A healthy gut reduces systemic inflammation because the bacteria living there help regulate immune responses. When you feed them the right fuel, like fiber from sweet potatoes, they send calming signals to the body rather than alarm bells. The result? Less joint irritation and more comfort. Now add lentils, those small, earthy legumes that have been a staple for centuries. Don't let their size fool you. They are packed with plant-based protein, which helps maintain muscle. Strong muscles act like shock absorbers for your joints, reducing the strain with every step you take. Lentils are also brimming with polyphenols, antioxidants that fight inflammation at the cellular level. One study in Nutrients in 2017 highlighted how polyphenol-rich foods can lower inflammatory markers, a finding especially relevant for people living with arthritis. Magnesium is another gift from lentils. This mineral relaxes tight muscles and supports bone health. If calcium is the brick in your bones, magnesium is the mortar that holds it together. Without enough of it, muscles cramp and bones weaken. By enjoying lentils regularly, you're essentially strengthening both sides of the joint, the bone structure and the muscle support. But what makes this soup even more powerful are the supporting ingredients. Turmeric and garlic, familiar friends from our previous soup, lend their anti-inflammatory punch once again. A handful of spinach or kale stirred in near the end adds vitamin K, which helps bones deposit calcium properly and brings another wave of antioxidants. And if you blend the soup until creamy, you get comfort in a spoonful, while leaving it chunky makes for a hearty, satisfying meal. Maria loved to add a pinch of cumin and coriander, spices that gave her soup a warmth, reminding her of the travels she still hoped to make. That's another beauty of this dish. It's endlessly adaptable. Whether you prefer Mediterranean herbs, Indian spices, or a simple sprinkle of black pepper, the base of sweet potatoes and lentils welcomes them all. The emotional side of food should never be underestimated. Maria told me the ritual of chopping vegetables, letting the soup simmer, and smelling the gentle aroma fill her kitchen gave her a sense of control. Instead of focusing on pain, she focused on nourishment. Every spoonful felt like a choice for healing, a small act of self-care. And sometimes it's those daily rituals more than anything that carry us toward lasting change. For people who worry plant-based meals won't keep them satisfied, this soup proves otherwise. It's thick, hearty, and keeps you full for hours without weighing you down. That means no sugar spikes, no crashes, just steady energy to move, walk, and live. For older adults especially, that stability can make the difference between staying active or retreating to the chair. Maria eventually did take that trip she dreamed of. She sent me a postcard from Italy, standing proudly on the Spanish steps in Rome, her knees strong enough to climb what once seemed impossible. "Doctor," she wrote, "thank you for giving me my legs back, one bowl of soup at a time." Sweet potato and lentil soup may sound simple, but inside that bowl lies a symphony of nutrients working together. Antioxidants that quiet inflammation, vitamins that build collagen, minerals that fortify bones, proteins that strengthen muscles, and fibers that harmonize the gut. It's more than food. It's medicine disguised as comfort. And so, we come full circle. Three soups, each with its own story, yet all sharing one mission: to help you move through life with less pain and more joy. Bone broth builds and restores, turmeric and ginger chicken soothes and protects, and sweet potato with lentils strengthens and sustains. These aren't just recipes, they're reminders that healing can be simple, warm, and deeply nourishing. I invite you to choose one, make it this week, and taste the difference for yourself. I'm Dr. Brian. Stay well, stay hopeful, and keep writing your wellness story, one bowl at a time.